I'm cleaning the tracks the way that David Atkins of Trains on Tuesday showed me. Just a little drop of oil on the track, there like that, and let the trains do the work. I have got a few more droppers to put in because I'm losing power down that end of the track, so a few more droppers, and I have got a booster transformer which I work with the lens system, so we'll have to see about that. But in the meantime, I'm going to get on with a bit of scenery, and I'm going to start off extending from the waterfall scene along here as far as that bit there that is holding up the building, that one there, or holding up the roof. So what I'm going to do, I've got this piece here which is a slat off an old garden bench, and I'm going to use that to support the backdrop because I can't stick it to anything now paper wise. And amongst everything that I salvaged from the old layout was this piece of wood here, and the back of it is clean and it's going to work out, I think, quite well, I think. So I'm going to cut that now and offer it up there and see how we're going to fit it. The next thing to do is to put the slat on the face of that and get that screwed on. That will keep the backdrop vertical, and this will add into the scenery because it would be like a little bit of a slope coming down to the railway track. Well, there it is, but now I've got to notch it so that it moves back a little bit further, but I've got to notch it around the rafters there, you see. So there we are, all notched and in position, but now I'll take it out and put the scenery on it. Now my thinking is to have woodland or forest all the way along there, and I want a little log cabin, so I'm going to build myself a log cabin and make a platform for it in the scenery. Of course the background will be sky, so the first thing you do is paint that blue. There we have the blue skies. Now we need to put a little bit of cloud in there. So just light clouds. There. Just wisps. Well, I want my little log cabin to look a little bit like that. We're 6'6" high on the walls, 15 foot long this way, 10 foot long that way, and a shingled roof to it. So let's convert that to millimetres and see how big it is going to be to scale. Well, that comes out at 26 millimetres from the ground to the top of the wall, 60 millimetres long and 40 millimetres deep. So let's have a look at that in reality and see if it's going to look right in the forest. To make the cabin, I'm using this thin corrugated cardboard which I found in my store of things which might come in useful one day, and they do sometimes, most of the time. And I've cut out the two ends, the gable ends, the main walls, and a base floor, and that will make the template for me to attach the logs to. And I'm going to do the card with card glue, so I'll get that established. I'll make it plain, this is not a how-to video. There are plenty of much better ones than this to show you how to do it. This is how I'm doing it, okay? Oh yeah, and I shan't use the nice clean cutting board for the gluing. I'll use one of the dirty ones underneath. So there I have the former for the little log cabin. And now I get to cutting the logs to length, and then I can start laying those on. And for the logs I'm going to use these barbecue skewers. I'm laying them on one long one short one. Now to prepare a bit of balsa wood for the shingles on the roof. I'm slicing it off, and then because it's rather thick balsa, I'm having to split it very carefully to make it a bit thinner. It would have been much better to have some very thin balsa wood sheet, but I'm trying to use all the stuff that I've already got. Now I'm laying on the baseboard for the shingles, which I've painted black just in case there's any gaps in the shingles. Don't want to see white through there. Now I'm coating the baseboard with PVA, and then starting the long and tedious to an extent setting the shingles in. I think it's going to be worth the effort. Then, having completed the shingle laying, give it a wash of brown paint, acrylic. Well, the little log cabin is nearly done, and now it's time to go and get the scenery ready for it. Well, there's the backdrop so far, and then what I've done, I've taken some brown paper and rolled it up. And I'm putting that along there like that, and then I'm going to put plaster of Paris over that, plaster of Paris bandage over that, and then form it. There's the plan, let's get on with it. And there's the first layer of plaster of Paris bandage on it. I'll let that dry, and then see what we can do about making a forest. I now have 2 layers of plaster of Paris bandage on there. And I haven't bothered to try and fill in all the little holes because it's going to have ground cover all over it, and then the trees on top, so that won't show. First thing that I have to do is put a bit of base colour on it. So I'm just going to use brown, and I've noticed I've not bothered to clean the brush from when I was doing the sky, because the ground will be all sorts of colours, and by the time I've got the ground cover spread on as well, you won't see that. I'll just give this a coat now of the brown basic earth colour. And in order to do the trees, I've reminded myself of a video that I saw some time ago by, I've mentioned it before, Marklin of Sweden, and I'm going to use his method of doing it, which you'll see is, I think, rather clever. And there we have it now, all brown, and little bits of white showing through, because that could be chalk, so I'm happy with that. Along here I'm going to try and create a wooded area, hardwood area. And I'm going to use a method, again, I've learned from Marken of Sweden. In the past I've used tumble dryer fluff for this job, but I watched a video of his the other day and he used microfibre, and I thought, oh, that's a good idea. I'll order myself a small pack because I don't need all that much. So I ordered it online and I ended up with this. Just a little bit more than I need, but anyway, it wasn't expensive and I think it's going to do the job a hell of a lot better. But he colours it. Now he used hairspray, what's it called, the air thing where you spray the paint. Anyway, he used that to colour it, but I haven't got one, so I tried a different way. I'm trying a different way. I've done a sample, and that's the sample I've done with a light coloured green, but I did it by making a very wet wash of paint, and then I dipped it in and squeezed it about. And it's all right if I wasn't wearing gloves, so if you don't mind scrubbing your hands afterwards, that's the way to do it. Anyway, I've now got some different shades of green, and I'm going to use some of this and some of the darker stuff. But before I mess my hands up, this is a bit of old scenery that I did where I've used a tumble dryer fluff for it. Well, there's the light coloured green wash that I used the other day to experiment, and I'm going to use that on a bit more. And what I did was I dumped it in like that. It's a really messy job, but I think it comes out quite nice. And mop it up, and then, now we get really messy, you have to just keep working it around until you get all of it more or less coated. And you see it coming. As I say, I've got some different shades of green which I shall mix in with it. Now I try a bit with a different shade. It might look like a mess, but my hands are clean now. I just kind of washed them. It's only emulsion, and once again, these are the little tester units that you get from the I got those from Wilco. So I've now got my bunches of slightly different colours, and when that's dried we'll put them into place and make a forest. Now let's see what we can do about placing some of this stuff. So I'm going to put the light stuff along the back. Let's get that spread out like that. There's a bit more light stuff. And then we'll put a bit of medium along, mixed in with that a bit, and then some of the darker stuff at the front there. See, you may have to do something about lifting the back up a bit. I'm quite pleased with the way that's coming on, and now for something special. I bought myself a haircut the other day, so it means I don't need to use the hairspray anymore on it. Good job too, because I need it for the layout. Get started on the scenery, and look at this. But there's a lady coming on Monday afternoon, and she sells haircuts So I'm going to buy a haircut from her. I'll just give that a quick spray over. And then we're going to take some clump foliage and dot it on there, so a little bit set. And some darker leaves. I didn't like the clump stuff I'd put on, so I took a lot of it off. And I'm just spreading different coloured scatter stuff over leaves, foliage, whatever I got in stock. And lighter leaves. And a little bit more spray. And there, where it continues along there, I think we just make that a little bit barren with just the odd bush and some rocks maybe. I've got some bits of rock there which I can glue on afterwards, and I'll do a bit more painting, but in the meantime I'm going to just put a little bit of static glass on here, just puff it on. It's only 2mm glass, so I don't want it to stand up necessarily, but we just get some colour in there. And then I put some vegetation along the top of that banking, and now it's time to lift it into position and see what it looks like. And I have found a use for some more of that microfibre. The smoke out the chimney works well for that. Lovely. I've got a bit more painting to do down in that area there where it joins the waterfall scenery. That's fine. Oh yeah, and I'm building a little log store for the cabin. Well, I think that's enough for this episode, and I hope you'll come back and see when I get this front finished here and down here, and then make a start on the town scene. I hope it's going to be a town scene anyway. That's the idea. So anyway, thanks very much for watching this one, and see you next time. Bye.